Welcome back to another authenticity vlog. I should have my book by Maren, the owner of Yes And, the author of Ready Enough. How crazy that I wrote a book about authentic decision making, which is what we're talking about today. And kind of always on this channel. So yes, I am wearing the same outfit and sipping the same cup of coffee because it's the same day for me, but it's 3 weeks later for you. I introduced this new concept that I will be sharing on my channel, which is making authentic decisions in my own life in real time to show the positive outcomes of living an authentic and values-driven life. But before I went off making decisions, I really felt the need to set this all up, which led to the first video of introducing this change in the channel. Then last week I sat here at this desk to see if authenticity even matters. It turns out, yes, it does. And this week we're gonna answer how. How do we use positive psychology to improve your life? Who am I? And who are you? I created a really simplified authenticity check-in sheet. It outlines your top 10 values, your top 5 strengths, and your top 3 interests. And the purpose of me doing this sheet in real time now before going off to make authentic decisions in front of you is to have a reference guide to ask, am I being authentic to who I am? Which requires knowing who I am. There are many ways to answer these questions of what your values, interests, and strengths are. Zooming out even further, there are many ways to define who you are as your authentic self. Of course, one page can't possibly summarize every single element of who I am or who you are, but again, it's a good starting point. Now, of course, we need to fill in these things, and where the heck do we find 10 values, 5 strengths, and 3 interests? Well, I have the resources for you. The PDF and all of these resources are linked and offered for you for free below, linked in the description. And to make this a little bit more entertaining, I am going to first guess my results for each of these tests and then give you my answers. So top 10 values. We are starting with the Barrett values measurement. Service, making a difference, internal cohesion, transformation, self-esteem, relationship, and survival. So here we go. I thought transformation, this idea of continuous growth and development, certainly would be my highest value. But then I started reading about this internal cohesion, finding meaning and existence, integrity, alignment, authenticity, creativity, passion, honesty, trust. Yeah, the fact that I have used almost all of these words in the last 2 videos alone, this feels like definitely my top value category. 2 would then be transformation. 3, maybe self-esteem, that was my best guess. Building a sense of self-worth and excellence, I tend to be a high achiever. Relationship felt like number 4, maybe even 3 and 4 could be switched. I thought my 5th bucket might be making a difference, specifically, again, that meaning and mentoring. Intuition is really important to me, those gut decisions, which I talk a lot about in my book. After that, service felt more important to survival, and this is actually something that I have my own gremlins with. Being really honest with you, I think this relates back to my Catholic upbringing. Ironically, the emphasis on women being of service in the church really kind of tainted my view on service. So I think if I worked through some of those gremlins, maybe service would not fall in number 6, but at this moment in time, it is number 6. And then survival. I put it sideways because, like, of course I want to survive, which also goes to show and speak to the power of privilege. Being in a situation where I feel safe and secure, that can be an afterthought. I really hope that all of you are as well. So I took the test. Again, these resources are available for you. I've linked the test if you download that free PDF below. And here's how the results appear. The most prominent value category for me was indeed finding meaning in existence, that internal cohesion value category. Second to that was also transformation, which I guessed both of those right. And then I was tied for self-esteem, relationship, making a difference, in service. I was actually pretty spot on with my estimates of values. In my highest bucket of internal cohesion, I value clarity, I value enthusiasm and having a positive attitude, if you can't tell. I value integrity, I value openness. With transformation, I value independence, and I value personal growth. And then all the ones that were tied thereafter include efficiency. I definitely like to be efficient with my time and my resources and most things in life. Family, vision to see hope and possibility and potential, and well-being. I'm actually surprised that doesn't fall into the survival one. Where does that fall? Into making a positive difference in the world. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, that is really important to me. And I definitely prioritize that when I'm making decisions. Okay, next up is the strengths inventory. There are a lot of strengths inventories out there. I used the VIA classification of 24 character strengths specifically because there's a free version of this test and I wanted all of these tests to be for free available for you. Again, linked down below. So as I did with the other one. I'm going to guess first what my top strengths are and then take the test. And this is in no particular order. I just went kind of top to bottom. I thought perspective was a strength of mine, my ability to see the possibility. That's what I do with my clients every day. Self-regulation is another one that stood out to me. If I put my mind to something, I will finish the task. Hope there at the bottom, I think, is one of my strengths. Vision and looking forward and looking for potential and believing in that potential is a really, I think, a strong strength of mine and why I'm such a great coach. And then the last two I put on were honesty and zest. Honesty to me felt most like authenticity, which of course is really important to me. And then zest. Zest for sure, because a lot of people tell me, you are so positive. I just love your energy. I get that comment a lot. I love your energy. So let's take this test. Here are my results. Number one, would we be surprised? Zest is the greatest strength of mine. Via specifically defines it as approaching life with excitement and energy, not doing things halfway or half-heartedly, living life as an adventure, feeling alive and activated. Then we have my second highest strength, creativity. Thinking of novel and productive ways to conceptualize and do things. I didn't think of creativity as one of my greatest strengths, but seeing this definition, it makes a lot of sense. I am always thinking of new ways to do things. And if something I mentioned, one of my values was efficiency in the last test, if I see that there's a more efficient way of doing something, or if I don't understand a rule, or I don't think that it belongs there, I will definitely question it and get creative about different alternatives and different perspectives to take. I was interested to see how they defined hope, which is my fifth top strength, expecting the best in future and working to achieve it, definitely. And then perseverance was number 4 and gratitude was number 3. Scrolling down, they also show you some of your middle strengths and your lower strengths. I was interested to see honesty there, self-regulation. I had included both of those in what I guessed my top strengths would be. But the other ones, I guess, makes sense. Leadership, spirituality, appreciation of beauty and excellence. It's not like you have to shame yourself for not having these in your top. You can only have 5 top strengths. And my lesser strength, love of learning. You saw how I dove into the authenticity research last week, but I'm not just going to learn for the sake of learning. There has to be like a reason or a purpose or a meaning behind it. Humor, this may be a result of a self-report measurement, which all of these are self-report measurements, because I don't think I'm very funny, but my boyfriend says I'm very funny. I think I'm just more goofy, and that comes back to the zest. Kindness, I'm sure it's fine, but it probably goes with, just like with my zest and my efficiency and my want to like do things and be active. Maybe I don't have that like really soft, gentle, traditional kindness. Teamwork makes sense to me. I am a very independent person. Humility, I am interested to see how this is scored. A lot of the questions were talking about, I don't want to share my achievements, or I'm shy in sharing my achievements. And I have been in the mindset game of, heck yes, all of us share our achievements. Like, I want you to share your achievements. I want me to share my achievements. I want all of us to celebrate and to enjoy our achievements, especially if you haven't been able to express your achievements and your accomplishments in the past and how it feels so good. Anyway, that could be a whole rabbit hole, but interesting. Okay, now we're going on to an interest inventory. I'm going to shout out to Jordan Bader right now because he's one of my colleagues. We both went to Claremont Graduate University together. He just graduated with his PhD. Give him a round of applause. And he studies interests. I should have probably texted him before this video, but I was looking for an interest assessment and couldn't find any that were amazing. Most of the ones that I found included the one that I include here is based specifically on career interests. And I'm interested more in learning about what are general interests. Like, I like dancing and I love puppies and I like hiking and also winter and those kind of interests. In terms of a measurement that's been studied and that is available for you to take online, I found the ONET career interest inventory. So here we go. There are 6 categories: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. So I thought number 1 would be investigative because I like to problem solve. That goes with coaching as well. And again, that's that idea of perspective and vision and looking at new ways of doing things. Number 2, maybe enterprising. I am a business owner, but I think artistic. Again, this idea of creativity and looking at new ways of solving problems. Then 3rd, enterprising. Again, business owner. I like to do things. I like to be independent and self-motivated. Number 4, I would say, would be social. This definitely correlates with the values and strengths, having a value of family and friendships and relationships and my clients. Number 5, realistic, and number 6, conventional. Conventional makes me think of the traditions and the rule books, and I tend to be pretty adamant rebellious against those things. So then I took the test. I'll save you from all the questions there, but again, linked in the description below. Here are my results. The top one was artistic, and then the second two tied for second place, social and enterprising. The thing that shocked me most is that the lowest interest was investigative. So now I'm going to dive into what they mean by this. Artistic, creativity in their work can be done without following a set of rules. So that definitely made sense that would be my top one. Social, teaching, giving advice, that makes total sense for my line of work. And also to help people to learn and grow, which is literally what I'm doing right now. And then my third, or technically tied for second, enterprising. Starting up business projects definitely makes sense to me. Taking action rather than thinking and reflecting. I do like reflecting, but you'll see in a lot of my work, I like action. In a lot of my speaking events and workshops and trainings that you've seen on this channel already, I emphasize the action. Making decisions is up there. Welcome to authentic decision making on this channel. Okay, so let's look at the lowest one. Searching for facts and figuring out problems. I guess I'm still a little surprised that I score low on this because I really do enjoy figuring out problems, but I guess when compared to the other things, it just doesn't score as high. So I have my top 10 values, I have my top 5 strengths, I have my top 3 interests, all collected from those tests that you also have access to if you download this PDF. And then I filled in, I just did a little brain dump of what makes me me. So some things I thought weren't quite captured about me in the values, the strengths, and the interests include independence, freedom, autonomy, generosity, positivity, equality, supporting women. I'm really passionate about supporting other women and supporting other women-owned businesses, which also I can go into the research about how positive that is for environmental reasons, for societal reasons, just for people reasons, for equality. Dance, I grew up dancing, and that's something that I really hold true to my identity and to what makes me me and how I dance around my office, and I do it just leisurely, but also I still attend classes to this day. I also love organization and planning. My boyfriend reminded me to put those on this page because I tend to be the planner and I like things neat and in their place. Aesthetics and the external environment that I'm in is really important to me. Dogs. An authenticity sheet would not be complete for Marin if dogs were not included. Here's a picture of my puppy and another one and some other puppies that I really love. I love dogs. Equality, I wrote that in there twice. Apparently, it is really important to me, and I definitely feel like I'm on the very early stages of quite understanding what it means to be and to support an equal and equitable world. Mindset, psychology, these are all things that are really important to me that I think are true to my authentic self. And all of this, I will for sure be returning to in the future. I'm bound to change, and as I introduced in the first and second videos of the introduction of all of this, authenticity is actually an ever-evolving thing. How can we be most true to ourselves in this moment, in this season of life? I'm sure I have forgotten some things. This was just a quick brain dump of what I think makes me me, but again, it is difficult to summarize an entire person on one page. So again, you have this sheet available for you as well, including all of the tests that we went over today. And I really do hope that you fill this out, because although I will be sharing my authentic decisions in real time, the purpose of it is to inspire you to make your own authentic decisions. Why? Well, let's turn back to last week, because there are so many positive benefits. If not already, you can see the positivity and the lightness and the feel good that I feel for my life because I have made this a priority to make authentic decisions, from my relationships to my line of work. Whether I stayed in the PhD program that was misaligned, I did not, because that was not authentic to me, to how I relate with my family and friends, how I schedule my calendar, how I budget my finances. And you can do all of this too. That is the point. I feel like I should leave in those transitions. To conclude the introduction to the Authenticity Vlog series. Week 1, I introduced my personal development journey and how I will be sharing it with you and why I will be sharing it with you. Week 2, we asked and answered, what does authenticity look like? And what are the benefits of authentic decision making? And this week I demonstrated how to use positive psychology to improve your life by creating a simplified authenticity cheat sheet so that you can make authentic decisions and that I can make authentic decisions with some sort of foundation. In a nutshell, who am I and who are you? That reminds me. Before concluding this video, I also felt like it was important to include some context about who I am. So not only what I am today, but how did I get to be this version of me, which specifically feels important when I'm putting these videos out on the internet. I have a master's degree in positive psychology. I am life coach certified. I am yoga certified. I was a professionally trained evaluator in graduate school. And I originally started in a PhD program thinking that I would be a professor, and ultimately ended up leaving with my master's degree when I saw that I really didn't want to stay in the research research. I wanted to apply these things and put it into practice. Some of the things that led up to all of this include dancing, which I started when I was 3 years old. Slightly as an effect of dance, unfortunately, I also developed an eating disorder when I was about 17. This really consumed about a year of my life, and I worked through the healing process for over 3 to 4 years. In hindsight, the meaning that I make out of this time that was pretty dark for me is that as a coach, I can really differentiate and understand the vital, important difference between therapy, working with a psychologist and psychiatrist, and coaching. To have experienced a mental illness firsthand feels almost like a gift to understand what mental illness looks like, feels like, and how that impacts someone's life. I feel very blessed to come from an incredibly supportive family. I have one older brother. I have 2 incredible parents. My parents are some of the most generous individuals I know. This absolutely is in part why I stand where I stand today as a 27-year-old who owns my own business. I really would not have been able to do that without the support of my family and my parents. I have traveled a little bit. I have lived in Colorado, in California, in Wisconsin, in Minnesota, and in Montana, all in the United States. And I have traveled to countries outside the United States, including Mexico and Thailand and Scotland and Poland and Denmark. I'm currently in a relationship of just over 3 years, not yet engaged, maybe on the horizon. You'll see maybe in some of these videos. And if you have any other questions about me, this is the video to ask them under. So scroll down to the comment section, ask the questions that you have. I will keep my boundaries in terms of sharing things online. This is the first time that I'm really breaking down this professional wall and kind of pouring my full authentic self out there. So I'm still navigating what this will feel like and what this is, but it feels important that if I'm making authentic decisions and talking about authenticity, it's of value to explain who I am and what makes me me. From here on forward, I will be sharing authenticity vlogs, making authentic decisions in real time, in my real life. I will be sharing the challenges and the vulnerable moments, along with the celebrations and all those positive outcomes that come from choosing authenticity. If you have any requests for decisions you want to see me make in real time, or maybe I have made them in the past and I can reflect how I went through that process, comment below. Next week, I will be making my first authentic decision in real time on this channel, and we are not starting small. So I did some calculating. Would I bet $2,000 that this will change lives? Holy cats! So with that, to follow along with me, again, download the PDF that I filled out for myself so that you too can have this reference point for how to make authentic decisions. I'll see you next time.